Brenden Schaeffer coming at you with another full PPR mock draft on Sleeper. As we get going here from the 1.6 draft position, full PPR in a 12-team league. Check the other videos on the channel for your draft slot as we're continuing to go through all 12 draft slots in 12-team leagues. We're going to do it in 10-teamers as well. Taking a look at the options here at 1.6, you could go running back with either Breece Hall or Bijan Robinson, or you could be anchored by Amon-Ra St. Brown. I like Amon-Ra St. Brown a lot at this draft selection. There is, though, the chance that all the good running backs are gone by the time it gets back to me in round 2. Could go either way, but the last time we did a draft, we kind of went a little bit RB heavy. Let's go with Amon-Ra this time, who I think could legitimately be the top scoring wide receiver in fantasy this year if things break in his direction with the Lions. So we'll take him with this pick. We've got no problem doing that with our 1.6 draft selection. Now we're going to take a look in the second round. Still some good running backs came back to us, so we're not concerned at all. Kyren Williams feels like pretty good draft value at this point. I think he's going to be heavily utilized by the Rams. Worry a little bit about his kind of nicks and cuts. He tends to get a little bit banged up from time to time, and they did draft Blake Corum to sort of be the spell there for him. But I like Kyren above Travis Etienne at this range. I think I like him a little bit better than Derrick Henry. Achane's interesting, though. I might lean into Devon Achane here. As much as, I mean, he could get to me in the third. It's not likely, though, is it? No, it's not. This purple line here shows me where the ADP lands. Achane's not falling back to me. Let's just lean in on upside. 12-team league. It's obviously deeper than a 10-teamer. Oops, sorry, guys. But I want to lean in on upside. I want to lean in on potential home run names at this range of the draft. And look, if I swing and miss on somebody with an early round pick, I'll just have to make up for it by adding more home run names later on in the draft. How do you like them apples? All right, round 3, taking a look at what our options are here. Would have loved to have seen Jalen Waddle drop one more pick. Derrick Henry would have been a name we would have been all over in the third round. As it stands, though, Rachaad White, probably the top of my board at RB, but I'm not really too enthused with him. Feels like a little bit early to go into the kind of Malik Neighbors, Cooper Kupp range of the guys that we typically like there. Caleb Williams has looked really good in preseason. I mean, DJ Moore's the pick here for me. Let's take DJ Moore and hope that another one of our wide receivers that we tend to like drops to us in the 4th. 3 quarterbacks leaving the board. That could help our case. Cooper Kupp goes. Metcalf goes. Malik Neighbors is still there. That's not going to happen in a real draft, is it? We're taking him, though. Malik Neighbors, for me, is just a little above the Devontae Smith, the Zay Flowers, the Tank Dell tier. We played the game. Look, if we end up with a Metcalf at 4.7, that's great. Cooper Kupp, that's great. Pittman, that's great. I really like the way this draft has begun. We got one running back that gives us some superb upside with Devon Achane. Our wide receivers are nasty. Amon-Ra, DJ Moore, Malik Neighbors. I just love the wide receivers in round 4. Devontae Smith, Zay Flowers, Malik Neighbors, DK Metcalf, Michael Pittman, Cooper Kupp. I would take any of those guys on my team. And there's a world in which if DJ Moore is gone, let's say I'm not as enthused by Nico Collins or maybe even Pacheco. Let's say instead of those picks being made early third by the CPU, they take DJ Moore. I think I'm just going to scoot right to Cooper Kupp in the 3rd and take one of these other guys in the 4th. The guys with the ADP in the 4th round, let me know if I'm crazy for this. I like them all. I like them all better than the 3rd round guys, except for I would take Waddle and Olave. And obviously, I would take DJ Moore because I did. There's one guy that is on that list for me that hasn't been selected yet. It's Tank Dell. We're going to take him in the 5th. I love this 6 draft pick stuff because it's landing me all the guys that I would want, but I usually missed out on by a pick or two. I don't know if this is possible in a real draft, but this is fun right here. I've got 4 wide receivers that I am absolutely over the moon about, and I still have an anchor running back to be able to lead my squad. DeAndre Swift is maybe the one running back I would want to take to lock in an RB2. Otherwise, we're probably punting a little bit at the position. Took Bowers in our last mock. I don't mind doing that here, but I also felt like there was such good value still at wide receiver in this range that I'm not afraid to go with a bench bat in this spot and really be able to trade from strength. If you follow my channel throughout the fantasy season, that will be the primary topic of our videos, weeks 1 through 9 or 10, however long the trade deadlines last in your league, is weekly trade value talk is really what's going to be the main focus of the channel. So after mock drafts are done, that's what you can expect from me. Hit subscribe if you like that kind of content. We're going to go with Rashee Rice. Roma Dunze was a consideration. Rashee Rice should not be in the 6th round. The more and more I look at it, I say it in almost every video because I've been taking him a lot. Don't think he's getting suspended this year, at least not at the beginning. The fact that we took Rice, though, and then Xavier Worthy is still available in the 7th is crazy. I might have to run another mock from the 1.6 just to see if I can do this twice, because this is really ending up being a dream draft in terms of some of the targets we're able to land. It's good when you don't have to wait a round and a half sometimes between the long side of a turn. You can just know that, hey, about every 12 picks, I'm going to be up. That can be kind of a calming sensation on your draft. Raheem Mostert, can't pick him. We already took a Dolphin. Bowers is still there in the 7th. Good grief. Bowers or Kyler Murray, folks. That's the decision here. Let me know what you would do. Because there are other quarterbacks I like better than my backup tight end options, we're going to take Brock Bowers. Lock that in. We'll figure out RB2 eventually. Don't you worry. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. I really like the way this draft is going, though. Oh, miss Kyler Murray by a pick. We get sniped. He shouldn't drop that deep anyway. So it's fine that happened. We're not too worried about that. We don't really need to look at wide receivers because we have Amon-Ra, DJ Moore, Malik Neighbors, Tank Dell, and Rashee Rice. Absolutely stacked. We're going to be able to trade one of those guys with our RB2 to get a legit RB1 at some point. And the RB2, we're actually going to pick him now. It's going to be Jaylen Warren. Perfectly suitable RB2 in PPR, and I get him in the 8th round. Javonte Williams would have been a consideration, but he goes 3 picks before us in the 8th. Singletary, perfectly adequate. I think Eckler could even be okay for PPR. Wouldn't draft him in standard, but for PPR, Eckler could be a decent choice. Brooks would be a choice if we were drafting a bench player in the 8th, but it was our RB2, and we know that Brooks is out for about a month, so we're not going to end up going that route. Caleb Williams would have been a pick here in the 9th, but he ends up getting taken. Sniped again. We'll wait a little longer on quarterback. You could go Purdy, Tua, Goff, Daniels. Any of these guys are fine. And even like a Kirk Cousins. I would rather have Kirk Cousins stacked with somebody like Drake London or Pitts. We didn't do that here. But we'll take Kirk if we have to. Like, I'm not afraid to do it. Let's grab our 3rd running back. We'll take Trey Benson because I usually have not been able to get him. It just seems like where I've been drafting in these mocks, he goes about a half round before I'm ready to take him. But because of our decision, rather, to load up on running backs so early, we easily can afford to take Benson here as our RB3. I like him to emerge as the season goes along. I'm always drafting for the playoffs when it comes to these fantasy drafts because I just assume I'm going to be there. Call that a little bit conceited, but I'm going to make good enough trades. I'm going to have good enough waiver play to be able to get myself in. A player like Benson that's a rookie might not see much playing time at first behind James Conner. But as it goes along, does Connor get banged up? Does the PPR value of Benson emerge as a rookie running back for a Cardinal offense that we do want pieces of? We're happy to go that direction. Receiver, we could go back into the wide receiver realm, but having 5 locked-in studs makes us feel pretty good. The running backs that we're going to be sad to miss on here are Blake Corum and Chase Brown, but we do want to lock in our quarterback. Jaden Daniels is the top of the board. He won't make it back to us. Even as all the teams drafting between us had a quarterback already, somebody was taking a backup. Herbert goes, Lawrence goes. That means Jaden Daniels would have gone. We want his rushing upside. Anytime there's a rookie quarterback with rushing upside, it doesn't even matter if they're good at football. You take him. Because if he's guaranteed a starting role, and Daniels is, he's going to be good for fantasy. And he's going to exceed his draft costs, without a doubt, if he stays healthy. Now we're just kind of hunting for upside late in the draft. We're having a lot of fun here from the 1.6. If you get to pick your draft spot, maybe 1.6 isn't so bad this year. We're liking the way this is played out. A.D. Mitchell is at the top of the ADP for wide receivers. Scrolling down, like you could go Shakir, Myers, Palmer, and Shaheed. All feel like the same player. They might be the second wide receiver on their team's depth chart, and that might lead to opportunity. But A.D. Mitchell could be a star in the making. We don't know. I always like the mystery box when it comes to rookies. So I'm going to take A.D. Mitchell here. Took Pittman in the last draft. Well, clearly, we are liking that Colts potential offensively. And he's our 6th wide receiver, so we really don't need another one. We do want to continue to circle back at RB. Jalen Wright goes. He's a guy we're probably looking at. Let's take Rico Dowdle, though. I think that's who we're going to pick here. Lock in a fourth running back, a guy who should see the field at least, because we did get a little bit lean at RB2. We waited till the 8th round to take our second running back, which was Warren. Benson is not really a guy that I think you can plug in at the beginning of the year. He's more of a stash for later. Dowdle could outplay Zeke Elliott and be a factor early to where we could flex him or we could put him in at RB2 if something happens to Warren. So we're going to take Rico Dowdle, and then we're going to wrap it up. You could go with a 7th wide receiver. You could go with a 6th running back. Or pardon me, it would be a 5th running back. I always want to be heavier on wideouts than I am at running backs in full PPR, just the way I like to play. We could take a handcuff. Let's take a handcuff. We're drafting August 17th, August 18th. You know what? You could take a handcuff, and what happens if a starter gets hurt? I mean, you could luck into a starting running back. And by the way, do this if your league has defense and special teams. Don't draft them. It's just random. Bucky Irving, Braylon Allen. We'll go Allen this time. We go Ray Davis sometimes. Dontavian Wicks would have been the receiver if we had gone that route. If your league makes you house a DST and a kicker, but that doesn't make you draft one, and Sleeper usually doesn't, we for these mocks, we just don't even include them because it's pointless. It messes with the algorithm. But if your league allows you to not draft one and you're drafting 2 weeks before the start of the NFL season, don't draft one and just wait till the night before the league, the NFL starts on that Wednesday night or that Thursday afternoon before the week 1 game, or even wait till Saturday or Sunday to lock in your kickers and your defenses. Because what if you draft a Braylon Allen and something happens to Breece Hall at the last minute? You're suddenly housing a league winner that all you did was just play the time value of your situation and not pick up a kicker until you absolutely had to. If you end up dropping Braylon Allen because you need the roster spot for the kicker, great. But you held him, and that could bring you an advantage. It happens a lot of years. Think about the year that Le'Veon Bell was holding out of camp, and everybody said, he's going to play. Draft him in the first round. And then he didn't, and his backup, James Conner, ended up being a league winner for people that got him in the last round or got him off of waivers. I actually drafted Lev Bell in a league that year. In my league, luckily, nobody had picked up Connor, so I scooped him up a couple of days before it was announced that Lev Bell was going to be out, and he was going to truly miss, hold out of games. And if I hadn't done that, I would have been screwed that year. So just something to think about, a little bit of a strategy tip. Like, I never, ever, ever draft a defense or a kicker in my leagues. I'll wait until Sunday at 11 a.m., and then I'll pick them up and drop the players that I was stashing. Just something to think about. That's going to do it, though, for this video. I really like the players we landed in this draft. Take one more look at our roster. Jaden Daniels and Brock Bowers, 2 rookies with upside at the onesie positions. Achane and Warren, that's an okay running back room. Achane, you're going to have to carry us, and if his health goes, then we're going to be lean at running back, no doubt, because Trey Benson and Rico Dowdle is all we really have, a flyer on Braylon Allen. But what we love about this in full PPR is that our wide receivers are going to carry us. Amon-Ra, DJ Moore, Malik Neighbors, Tank Dell, Rashee Rice, and then a flyer on Adonai Mitchell. I'm telling you what, there will be trades to be made from this roster. Not every receiver we drafted is going to pan out, but I think at least 4 of them will. And then anything else is bench fodder, and you can package that together for deals to try and upgrade some of the spots. That RB2 is going to be the spot we circle to potentially upgrade. And obviously, if our rookies at the QB and tight end spots don't pan out, then we're scouring waivers for that. And you could potentially trade into a more secure option later on. But we really like the way this draft played out. Let me know if you agree. What do you like about what we did here? What do you dislike? And let us know the next video you want to see from our channel. And make sure to subscribe because we'll be doing a lot of live streams. And like I said, during the season, a lot of trade strategy that can help you win your league. So appreciate you guys for watching. We'll talk to you next time on the channel. Peace.